started, it's time to meet our second team. Please welcome Drvr.
Hey everyone. Drvr is a fleet analytics, fleet management company. But we didn't start out that way. 2014, Drvr launched as a consumer-facing app. The idea was to help drivers gain insights into their driving behavior and how they were operating their vehicle and try to help them extend the lives of it and improve their own performance. However, after 6 months, we realized we weren't getting the traction that we needed. And based on the feedback we were getting from our users and the lessons that we learned, we made the difficult decision to pivot. Pivot to a B2B solution and change the way that companies looked at fleet management and the type of knowledge they could gain from the data they were creating. We spent the next 2 months raising $70,000, which funded our relaunch. We hit the ground running. We knew we needed to hire a team that could change the way fleet management and analytics in this space operated. We hired a machine learning expert to build our back end, an award-winning game designer to design the way that our users would interface with our platform, and business development specialists that had very specified knowledge in the regions that we wanted to launch in. 6 months later, our MVP was ready to go. We signed on pilot customers in Myanmar, and within 60 days, we were converting those pilots to subscriptions. 10 months later, we're now the leading fleet management, fleet analysis company in Myanmar. We're ready to launch in Thailand, and we're exploring other markets. Based on the success of our MVP in Myanmar, we went on to raise $200,000 at a $3.3 million valuation. But we didn't just take investment from anyone. We really did our research, we dove in, and we identified investors that could deliver additional value to us. They could open new markets, and they could bring subscriptions to the platform. Today, our MRR is growing month over month, and our customers continue to give us positive feedback on our intuitive UI and the value that our big data analytic platform is delivering to their businesses, saving them money every month. Now, being a cloud-based platform, we're hardware independent, and we think that's really important. Not right now, as we can integrate any device. Most vehicles don't come with connectivity built in. But being hardware independent positions us for the future. As OEMs begin to roll vehicles off the lot with integrated connectivity, we feel our cloud-based solution, being hardware independent, and our API has positioned us to be their go-to solution as that situation occurs, allowing us to continue to grow even as the landscape of fleet analytics change, both for fleets on the consumer side and consumers individually. Thank you very much. That's all I have for you today. I'd be very happy to take the panel's questions at this time.
Thank you, Drvr. Let the Q&A session begin.
Yes, so what metrics does the software track, and where are the either revenue generating opportunities or the cost saving opportunities for clients?
Excellent question. A lot of what we're looking at right now is driver behavior in vehicle health, in vehicle performance. And we're leveraging some of our proprietary algorithms to help the companies educate their drivers to improve driver behavior, drive down fuel costs, drive down repair time on vehicles, having them not break down so much. But also, one of the big things that we identified in Myanmar before our MVP was that fuel theft was accounting for about 30% of the fleet cost for many of our customers. We have developed a proprietary solution on the software side and hardware side to help mitigate fuel theft and notify fleet managers when we detect it happening.
How does when you implement this across a fleet of I guess small vehicles, how does the implementation work? Do they need to implement, like, do they have to have an app installed on their phone, or is it through the console on the actual car dashboard? Can you tell us a little bit about the actual projection of the solution?
Sure. In today's climate, not many vehicles are coming, especially on the commercial side where they're a little bit older, don't have connectivity built in. We use industry-specific hardware that either leverages the OBD2 drive, the OBD2 port on the vehicle, or we have a black box device that is slightly more of a covert installation. And we put that in, that connects back to our platform over a GSM network or satellite, depending on the coverage. Many areas of Myanmar do not have mobile coverage. And we send that information back to our platform where we analyze it, and then the fleet manager can access this either through our app or on our website, our web portal.
The revenue is like two parts. Do you sell the hardware and the actual implementation of the SaaS?
We're not a hardware company. We pass the hardware through essentially at cost, making maybe only 1% profit on that hardware. It's not something we consider because that is a bridge for us. Eventually, within the next 5 years, every car rolling off a lot from an OEM, with the exception of extremely low-end models, will have this connectivity built in. Our revenue model is subscription-based. It's one-time fee for the hardware. As I said, we're not making revenue on that, which is different from our competitors' model. And what we do is charge per vehicle per month, and that is our revenue model. That's what drives our MRR.
How do you have a conversation? Say, for example, how do you interact with GE Fleet? Do you compete with them, or is this kind of a supplementary model they can look at with you? Can you tell us a little bit about the industry dynamic that you play in right now?
Sure. When we came to Southeast Asia, we didn't really identify any competitors that had this level of intuitive and user-friendly UI. Most of the fleet management solutions look very much like a Western BI solution, where it's very much raw data, and you have to have a certain level of sophistication to be able to leverage that to the most ability. And some of the feedback we got from customers were they tried telematics solutions in the past. Their fleet manager struggled with it. They had a hard time getting value from it, and so they discontinued the service. On our platform, in about 1 day of training, fleet managers become essentially expert level users of this platform. That's why we hired a video game designer to design our UI. We were very concerned with the way that the fleet managers would interact with the platform. We knew that if it wasn't simple and it wasn't intuitive, they would lose interest and the companies would no longer see value from it. We needed to create that stickiness. And we took inspiration from things like Line and some of the more popular video games. We looked at even things like Cookie Run, and that was super popular, and how they drove that stickiness. And that's part of the inspiration that we took for this.
What is the scale of the problem and the size of the market opportunity?
Sure. So market opportunity, about $5 billion. When we look at Southeast Asia, we think we can potentially capture 5 to 10% of that within the next 5 to 10 years.
Did you say 5 million?
Billion.
Billion.
US dollars.
Could you tell us a little bit about the team? Like, what's the background of the founders?
Sure. Our CEO, founder, David Henderson, was previously the general manager at Telematics Australia. When he launched the app version of this, it was kind of a proof of concept on the mobile side, and we saw it didn't work. He had seen interest previously from Indonesia that they wanted someone to come and work in Indonesia. At the time, the mayor of Jakarta, now president of Indonesia, had visited them, talked about launching their service there and the benefits of other places in Southeast Asia. We saw the opportunity in Myanmar as well as a kind of emerging market. Eugene, our machine learning expert, designed our backend. He has over 20 years of development experience in machine learning, robotics, and big data.
Sorry, that's all the time we have for this Q&A session.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. You did a
Thank you
great
very
job.
much.